The Rescue. On a hill among many hills lived an old man. For as long as anyone could remember, he had shared his home with many strange animals. They were creatures that had been hurt or abandoned, neglected or forgotten, and he cared for each one of them with love. People were scared of the grumpy old man and his wild collection of animals, and everyone was happy with the distance between them. Everyone except one young boy. He had watched from a distance as the old man took his creatures wandering through the fields. He heard the tenderness in his voice and saw there was nothing to be afraid of. Why couldn't the villagers see it too? Then one evening, it began to rain. Over the hills and the sky, the wind sent clouds, and the first fat drops began to fall. Tricklets tipped caterpillars off their twigs and turned to torrents. Swollen streams snatched the nests from under ducks and forced moles from their earth fortresses. The boy looked out through the rain. He watched as it fed and overfilled every stream until the river between the hills spilled across the land and became a sea and turned the old man's hill into an island. Over the water, the boy could see frightened animals, and he too grew afraid of what would happen to them if the water kept rising. It seemed there was nothing he could do. From the rising shore, he looked out towards the old man's island, which grew smaller every hour. Through the wind and the rain came the bellowing and bleating of the beasts. And then it happened. In the dark and pouring rain, a boat appeared. As it came near the shore, he waded in and caught it before it could float away. The boy rowed the boat across the rising water. The old man saw a raft coming to rescue his animals from their shrinking home. There was no welcome. He shouted and bellowed louder than his animals.
Go away!
He yelled.
We don't need your help. Go away!
The old circus lion and the wounded leopard that was shot by a hunter roared in fear. But the boy knew it was not just the animals who were frightened. Quickly, he loaded the nearest creatures into the boat and rowed them back to a safer shore. When he returned, the old man had grown silent watching. Far away on the shore, beneath the village, people had gathered. They had opened their sheds and barns to provide shelter for the old man's creatures. They had brought blankets and baskets in case they were needed. Tenderly, they helped the wet animals ashore. This time, the old man did not shout as the boy filled the boat with its precious cargo. Again, the boy rowed back across the sea. And this time, the villagers were waiting to help. From the flooded fortress, the old man watched as the boy set out once more towards him.
Come on,
called the boy to the old man.
it's all right. Come on. There's no need to be frightened.
And finally he came. Together, The boy and the man loaded the raft with the last of the animals, and those animals that could swim following behind. They roved for home as the island sank beneath the waters. The people stared at the old man. Nervously, the old man looked at the people. In every home, his creatures had been given shelter. There was a place for each and every one, and for the old man too.
Thank you.
He said, smiling, his tears lost in the rain. They were only 2 words that were needed. The villagers came forward to greet him, and the rain stopped.